Is there anything better than a delicious dessert that melts in your mouth and floods your brain with dopamine? Indeed there is. However, sugar is the easiest, the cheapest, and the most abundant and acceptable way of getting high without anyone noticing, including yourself. Science has proven it's more addictive than cocaine, and the food industry is consciously abusing the substance to make us consume more than what we need, and it's destroying our health like never before. I'm Marcos, and today we delve deep into how this delicious substance impacts the brain, how it's hidden in many different types of processed foods, and how to overcome the temptation of this tasty poison. Stay until the end to learn the 6 strategies that helped me to let go of sugar without any punishments and fights with myself. It's undeniable the pleasure of eating something sweet, and the more you can understand how your brain interprets sugar, the easier it is to break free of the unhealthy options and experience a healthier life. Back in the cave days, our relationship with sugar was very different from what we have today. Picture this. You're in the wild, hunting for food, hiding from predators, surviving at all costs, and you come across a fruit tree or a honeycomb. It's the best gift you could ever find, not only because of how incredible it tastes, but also for the amount of energy that it provides. The dopamine rush we get from sugar was crucial to motivate our ancestors to seek and spend energy to get these energy-dense foods. You would have to climb trees or deal with bee stings to get access to them. Also, many of them were seasonal and not available steps away from the sofa. Fast forward to today, we're drowning in sugar. The recommended daily intake of sugar in a healthy diet is around 20 grams per day. However, Americans are consuming on average around 88 grams, almost 5 times higher. Thanks to the food industry that's sneaking sugar into literally everything they produce, including water. They're destroying our health, pushing society to deal with diseases that our ancestors never had to worry about, like cancer, obesity, depression, chronic inflammation, mental health disorders, Alzheimer's, gout, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, fat liver, tooth decay, and the list goes on. There are heaps of evidences of the effectiveness of cutting off sugar during cancer treatments. However, majority of doctors ignore it. Corporations are purely driven by profit, always looking for ways of selling more at a lower cost. Taking advantage of our natural love for sweets, they hire food scientists, flavor chemists, marketing experts, behavioral psychologists to make their product taste incredible and increase consumption without any concern about health. They chase the Bliss Point, which is the precise balance of sugar, fat and salt that maximize taste pleasure, triggering intense cravings and overconsumption, consequently generating higher sales. With that, they bring customers to the pharmaceutical industry that focus on treating the symptoms and not the root cause of all diseases. The sales increase of medication is alarming, as you can see here. How many doctors have you met who asked you about your food choices and about your emotions during a consultation? Unfortunately, the majority of them fall for the financial incentives that corporations give to them to prescribe specific drugs, and we trust blindly in their advice. Coming back to food, look at this harmless breakfast cookie I used to eat every morning. Crunchy, with natural flavors, brown sugar, and steady energy the whole morning. Or until insulin levels drop and your body craves for more sugar, which takes a bit more than 2 hours to happen. If you have a deeper look at the label, you can realize they add 6 different types of sugar, which gives you 55% of added sugar in just one pack. Check out this other example. If you eat this tomato soup, you ingest 23 grams of sugar. And if you drink a can of Coke with it, you're adding another 39 grams of sugar. So in one meal of liquids, you would ingest 62 grams of sugar. Mind-blowing. By the way, drinks are the #1 source of sugar intake, so being aware of that will help you a lot. Coming back to the brain, when scientists gave rats the option of cocaine and sugar, 94% of them preferred sugar. You may be thinking, for sure, sugar tastes better than cocaine. But remember, this is about how the brain reacts to the substance, not the taste itself. Cigarettes also taste horrible, and once the brain is addicted to nicotine, it's very hard to quit smoking. Another study measured the human brain activity of obese and cocaine addicted people. As you can see in this PET scan, the dopamine spike is much more intense from from sugar than from cocaine. You may be asking, okay Marcos, but how can I tell my brain to not fall for this trap? Well, like everything in life, accepting that something is a problem in your life is the first step to solving it. Then you try implementing the strategies that have been working wonders for me, so you can understand what works for you. Keep in mind that your ego will try its best to keep you in the comfort zone and will interpret any attempt of change as negative, not only because it will require some level of discomfort to let go of what's familiar, but also because the ego doesn't know how to operate without the addiction. And this is why I believe that treatments that go in a fight with ego generates pain and are not efficient long term. I've mentioned some of the rehab approaches in my episode about alcohol. In case you missed it, check it out here. Coming back to sugar, I don't recommend the trend of going dry on sugar for 30 days because we're dealing with one of the most addictive substances that we can find around, and cutting off completely will generate a lot of pain mentally and physically. My approach is about negotiating with ego for a lifestyle change, bringing awareness to the benefits and consequences of my life choices, then executing them slowly to make the process of change as smooth as possible. I invite you to take your clothes off and look in the mirror. Are you satisfied with what you see? Now, look inside. Do you have any inflammation in any part of your body that brings discomfort and limits you from doing things you want with your body? Imagine how you would feel if your body was 10, 20, or 50% healthier. A body free of pain, a mind less dependent on compensations. This visualization is important to persuade the ego to accept the new choices by giving the taste of how much better life can be. And here are my 6 strategies to freedom from bad sugars. Number 1, go to your kitchen and read the labels of every processed food you can find. Here's a list of all the ingredients that the food industry uses to disguise sugar. Take a screenshot so you can hunt them in your pantry. Also, don't forget the artificial sweeteners. They will trick your brain and will not help you to rewire the addiction. Get rid of all of them. Do not keep any unhealthy sugar source at home, because whenever you feel anxious or your insulin comes down, you won't think twice before eating them. Number 2, say no to any drinks with sugar, even if they don't taste sweet. Like beer, for example. The carbohydrates will break down into glucose and will raise insulin levels in the blood, requiring you to keep consuming more. Be mindful of the illusion that drinking fruit juice and smoothies are healthy. If you compare a milkshake with a smoothie, yeah, of course, the smoothie is a much better choice. However, blending fruits breaks down fiber and it releases sugar into the bloodstream much faster and consequently spikes insulin a lot. Also, the amount of sugar you consume in a cup of blended fruit is always much higher than eating a cup of whole fruit. I bet you could drink the juice of a whole watermelon, but maybe a quarter of the whole fruit would satiate you. When you consume whole fruit, the body will break down fiber first, slowing down digestion and sugar absorption. If you need to add sugar to your tea or coffee, you don't really like the drink, but sugar instead. I grew up conditioned to choose a soft drink or beer with every meal, and if I dare to choose water in a restaurant, I would become the joke on the table. Nowadays, I only drink sparkling water with my meals, and that also played a huge part in how much food I eat too. Number 3, stay hydrated. Our body can mix signals between hunger and thirst. So whenever you feel hungry, drink half a liter of water and give yourself some time before eating something. Many times, you will forget about the food. Choosing sparkling water helps with hydration, but also with the sensation of having a stomach full. This was a game changer for me when doing prolonged fasting. If you heard that sparkling water is negative for you, check this video from Dr. Berg so you can fully understand why this has been my number 1 drink of choice for many years now. Number 4, making agreements and negotiations with yourself. Your mindset and habits will make you or break you. Whenever the craving comes, remind yourself of everything that's happening in your brain, and most importantly, all the reasons that make you decide to stop eating sugar. Reinforce the vision of who you want to become and the love you have for yourself, for your body, which is the most incredible gift you received in life. So do not damage it with poison. One agreement I made with myself was that when the craving comes, I go to a local organic bakery and allow myself to buy 1 cookie, never a pack of 10, because a few times I did, and I finished it all in 1 or maximum 2 days. So, lesson learned. Number 5, manage your stress levels. The majority of people don't eat because their body needs nutrients. They eat to regulate their emotions. Unless you're extremely skinny, your body has fat to burn, and you will not die if you stay stay 8, 12, or even 24 hours without eating. The challenge is what you do with the mind when food, or more specifically sugar, is not giving that hit of dopamine to calm the nerves down. If you haven't heard of the analogy I make of the pressure cooker and the mind, check this episode once you finish with this video. You will love it. Exploring the unconscious mind is the only way to understand why the mind is so active. And again, psychedelics, in my opinion, are the most effective way to access the information in the unconscious mind and bring them to the conscious mind so you can integrate with the help of a professional and rewire those patterns and conditionings that are making the mind so active. Number 6, be careful with who you choose to share a meal with. You will become like them. There is something called social conformity, which is the desire to be liked by others. It makes us question and change our behavior to fit in the group or in a friendship. This influence increases when we admire or love someone. So make sure you invite or accept invitations to eat from only those who inspire you with their eating habits. It's extremely important. The more you change, the more you can influence your friends to change their habits too. And if your friends do not support your journey, change your friends, but do not sabotage yourself from becoming the healthiest version of yourself. These strategies allowed me to stop seeking pleasure in sugar, trying to find compensation for having an unfulfilling life, and also from destroying my body and my mind every single day. I got rid of inflammations and chronic pains, and with that 14 kilos of extra weight that now I realize how much it held me back from becoming the best version of myself and finally can feel healthy. Resisting the temptation and fighting against years of addiction is simple but not easy at all. Like every other journey, you face ups and downs. Don't be hard on yourself if you take a step back, but make sure you use that as a leverage to take 2 steps forward. Do not hurry the process. Consistency and patience are key, but I guarantee you that there is a much better life waiting for you outside of the comfort zone of a sugar addiction. Small changes, big impact. Start by swapping 1 sugary drink per day with water. You'll be surprised on how much better you feel within just a week. Create a reward system for yourself. For every day you stick with your sugar goals, treat yourself with something you enjoy that isn't food related, anything that fulfills your soul, and open yourself to experience a life that you haven't imagined being possible anymore. That's all for today. I hope my perspective expanded your mind in regards to everything I mentioned here and helped you create a strategy on how to let go of sugar and become the healthiest and happiest version of yourself. And I'm forever grateful if you can hit the like button and share with the people you love most. Much love, and I'll see you next week.